Hello, everyone. It's Mona again from Back Pain Movement Makers. And today is day 71 in our 365 days free challenge, where we go live every day to talk about healing back pain for good, but also living a fulfilled life. This week and 3 days in next week, we are going to have a repetition of all the 10 daily holistic healing habits. Now we have spent 10 weeks on 10 daily holistic healing habits. So now these coming 10 days, we're going to have a short repetition of them all. And what we're going to focus on is, what does the habit mean and why? Why should we implement that habit? I'm sorry for having an itchy nose. I'm kind of allergic to grass. Well, I will hand you over to the highest consciousness, because I believe that them will explain this a lot better than I will. Okay, here we go. The first habit of the 10 daily holistic healing habits, the first thread in the safety net and the woven safety net, is be present and conscious every day and throughout the day. What does that mean? That means that you are trying to be aware of your own feelings. Your feelings is your impeccable guidance system, your inner true guidance system. It always tells you if you are on the right or the wrong track. And if you feel bad, that has to do with you, not what happens around you. It is your own unloving or loving thoughts that are created, reflected back to you. For example, if someone is aggressive towards you and you think, well, that he or she is a bastard, that is why you're feeling bad. Your own condemnation, your judgment of that person, not what the other person does to you. And this is something very strange, especially to the ego. The ego is never wrong. The ego is rather right than having good relationships. And that is something we must have in mind. So your guidance system is telling you, well, that is not a good thought about him or her. Because, as we've talked about before, when you feel that you are on top of the world and you're feeling, yeah, it's lovely, it's nice to be alive, you don't care about if someone is rude or aggressive or not. You don't care. You know then that their aggression tells more about them than about you. And that is why the first habit is so essential for healing, but also to live a fulfilled life. Because if you are not aware of your feelings and the thoughts that are creating every feeling, then you are run by your ego. You are then run by your ego and your programming and everything that you have been taught. And not many things are taught very well about living a fulfilled life, but not about healing for good either. You have to go inside to find healing and your fulfillment. And this habit is to help you to take back control of your mind. You have a free will. You're here to experience everything and everyone and see for yourself what it's like, if it's something for you or not. And when you have come to around 35 or above, when we're talking about human aging here, most of you know that something is missing inside. It doesn't matter if you get that promotion, if you get a divorce and get a new partner or new kids, or your social media is flourishing, or you have XYZ on the bank account, you have the fanciest house, the latest car, whatever. It doesn't help. You are still sometimes empty on the inside. And that emptiness is that you are not aligned with what you are. So the first thing in this, you have to begin to observe your own thoughts and your own feelings. Because thoughts create feelings, feeling creates action, action creates results, and it all goes back to your beliefs. So you have to begin to change your thinking and feeling, because your thinking patterns create it creates your personality and your identity. And who would you rather be? Would you rather be your back pain, or would you like to be something that is absolutely amazing? Everyone is created from love, out of love, for love. You are unconditional love. And our will for you is for you to be happy, joyous, creative, and enjoy every moment of your life. And you cannot do that all the time, but you can do it almost all the time. And that goes back to your thinking around everything. If you know for sure that you are unconditional love and everyone else is unconditional love, but not everyone is aware about that. And you could see that there are only two feelings, love or fear. And everything that is aligned with fear will make you feel awful. You feel awful because you are judging someone else if they're rude, not because that person is rude. Because if, as we said before, if you feel that you are on top of the world and in flow, you don't care. So it is a choice. It is a choice what to think and believe and feel. But you don't know that because you've never been trained to do that. People who are living out of fear are more easily moved around and controlled. And a lot of persons that want to rule over other people know this. Every one of you is exactly the same. You're unconditional love. And you're a part of God, and part of God you are. Or we could say the highest consciousness, the Father, the Creator, the universe, whatever, the living force, the love force, you could call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. You are all a part of that force. But no one tells you that. You are trained to believe that you are never enough. You don't do enough. You don't have enough. You have to compete about everything. You even have to compete about the highest consciousness love for you. And that is BS. That is not true. When you are aligned with your true self or the highest consciousness, that's us, you know that you are enough. And everyone else is enough too. And you don't have anything to do with someone else's journey here. You're all here for a reason, the same reason, to remember what you are again. So that the living force in you, that's us, could experience ourselves again. That's why you were created. So you're here to remember what you are and then begin to align everything with that. And when you begin to believe, understand that you are unconditional love, everything else will come together. So when you begin to believe, remember again, and believe and know that you are aligned with love, you are unconditional love, and there is nothing you or anyone else could have or could do to change that. Nothing. There is not such thing like sin and wrong and bad. You're here to experience what makes you tick. And that, our dear friends, is not the fanciest car. You could, of course, enjoy the fancy car. Absolutely. But if your life is controlled by getting the fancy car and your happiness depends on the fancy car, then you're screwed. Because if the fancy car goes away, so is your happiness. It's gone. So being present and conscious every day and throughout the day is about taking control back over your thinking, over your mind. It's essential. When you begin to align every thought, or just when you begin to align 51% of your thoughts with love, it will tip over. It is hard to try to train your mind, and depending on how old you are, it has taken that long time to get you where you are today. So it will take some time to get back, but not the same amount of time, of course. Everyone will get there, but for some, it has to be in the death moment when you transition. You know that nothing that the ego have wanted you to work for so hard doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is love. To love yourself and love everyone else. And to enjoy each other's expression of that love. And as we've said before, write down your 3 most negative feelings that you feel on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. Write down 3 thoughts that triggers those feelings. You know this. You just have to sit down in a quiet moment and write this down. And then you write down 3 inner monologues that you say to yourself or to someone else in that feeling. And then if you want to go on, write down, what do you do then? And if you want to go even further, what does that result in? And then to turn this all around, you have to write down, what 3 good, positive, empowering feelings would you like to feel on a daily or weekly basis? Write down 3 thoughts to each feeling that could trigger that feeling. 3 monologues that you could say to yourself. 3 action you could do, and what kind of results that would lead to. And you can even imagine what your stress hormone production will take you. If that have taken you to where you are today, what if you could lower that? Don't you think that your pain would be relieved? And if you practice this, it will lead to healing for good, but also living a fulfilled life. This is the absolute most important habit. But to remember to do this, you need to work with spiritual reminders, at least 7 a day. You have to work with give of yourself to the world, because otherwise you will begin to get victimized again. You have to give of yourself. You have to have spiritual or transformational input, and you have to be in contact with your true self or the highest consciousness on a daily basis. And you have to begin to work with be safe and well. Do you begin to see the net, the safety net? And most people don't believe that they could heal just working with spirituality. That is why we have movement every day. Your body needs movement. It is created for moving. You need to eat and drink well. Not actually, but most people believe that. So that is almost impossible to go beyond that belief. That is why we have that with here. You have to learn to begin to breathe well. Again, most people don't breathe correctly. That is why the body is not supported with the correct amount of oxygen. And also, if you breathe very high and shallow, it creates more stress. And the stress hormone production is working very hard. And then, of course, you cannot have movement and working and being aware and conscious if you don't sleep well either. So all these 10 daily holistic healing habits are woven together like a safety net. Excuse us. Like a safety net. So now you have got a short but excellent summary of the first of the 10 daily holistic healing habits. Okay? And remember, the mind, and the ego mind especially, loves familiarity. It loves to have every day the same day. So if you begin to watch your feelings and being more conscious and aware, you will know all these thoughts, all these monologues will become, you have to read all these things that we asked you to write down. You have to read them every day before you go into meditation and create these positive feelings intentionally. But you will begin to realize, I saw something there. Now I thought about that. Or you will begin to, why now I'm feeling overwhelmed again. My God, I didn't want that to happen. Okay, what did I think about? What triggered that feeling? And so on. And you will begin to shift your awareness and shift your thinking process. And the ego and the mind will give you a hard time in the beginning because they love for everything to be just as it has been before. Because the ego is afraid of change. The mind is afraid of change. And you have to know this because it will try to force you back. And we could then add on top of that, your near and dear ones wants you to be the same. It doesn't matter that they hate to see you suffering from back pain. They know where you are. But if you begin to change very drastically, they will have something to say about that. So this is something that should go smooth, steadily, baby step by baby step. So it won't trigger your ego or your mind or your near and dear ones. So that's why there has to be also 10 daily holistic healing habits, because you take one baby step every day, or you take 10 baby steps every day. That will create a feeling that you're in momentum. Okay? And your near and dear ones will also see that you mean now that you mean it this time. Now you're in, you want this. You want to heal, you want to live a fulfilled life. And ask for their support. Because if you invite them to do these 10 daily holistic healing habits, they will begin to heal too. Doesn't matter if it's back pain or not. It doesn't mean everyone will begin to live a fulfilled life if you implement these 10 daily holistic healing habits. And Mona and Thomas, they have been cheating with the movement, the exercises for 14 days because they have had kind of what they called vacation, and now they're paying for it. They are a little bit more stiff and cranky. So they will get on that horse again. So it doesn't matter if you have back pain or not. So ask your spouse, ask your partner, ask your parents, your near and dear ones to join you in these 10 daily holistic healing habits. That will be an extra safety net as well. That's everything for today. We'll hand you over to Monica. Much love and blessings from us all. Okay? That was a mouthful. Okay, 24 minutes. Well, that was the summary of the first of the 10 daily holistic healing habits. And if you haven't been watching all the 10 daily holistic healing habits, I really recommend these 10 days, because it will give you a foundation to know what we have been talking about for 70 days before this day. Okay, tomorrow is the second of the 10 daily holistic healing habits. This one was a spiritual one. Tomorrow is going to be a one for the physical part, and it has to be about it is about movement and exercises. And I'm going to begin with the exercises again. It doesn't give me any life quality otherwise. But I didn't expected the highest consciousness to tell you that. But that is the truth. I have been cheating with the exercise, and Thomas as well. But we have to pay for it right now. It will be very stiff muscles tomorrow morning. But well.
I have that already.
Yeah, Thomas is very stiff, worse than I am. But well. So tomorrow we will talk about movement and exercises, why, and what it is all about. Okay? Until then, see you. And by the way, if you want someone else with back pain to learn about this, please send them the link. Please send them the link, because if this might be something for them, or it isn't, but then they know, and you know that they have tried. And going back and listen to day 1 is also a good thing, but it will take some time. So these 10 days now, they are really good for getting to know what this is all about. Much love and blessings. Bye.